Hey, it's Quinn here with PTSD, while black. So I was bragging to my husband that I baked the chicken with hardly any brain issues. This is a brain check-in, y'all. And then I was like so proud of myself because I washed the chicken, I divided it, I cleaned the counters and the sink immediately after because of you. And like usually because of my brain injury, there's like 1,001. It feels like I'm walking through a fog and cloudy questions that I'm having to go through to figure out how to do such a simple process. So I'm really proud of myself. I turned on the oven, lined the pan, and seasoned the chicken. And to everybody else, they're like, okay, so you cooked some chicken. I'm like, no, that's a fucking miracle for me that I was able to do it without too much braining, and I didn't have a whole lot of back pain today, so I'm really surprised at that because of the weather. Because yeah, I noticed that my pain levels go up when I'm cooking, especially if I'm bending down to pick up pans and stuff, and that makes it harder to cook. So I was really happy with the process that I did today. Then, of course, I was bragging to my husband about it when he came home from work, and then when I do instant mashed potatoes because brain. I was making mashed potatoes as a side, and like the alarm. I'd cooked the potato water for 2 minutes, and it needed to be for 5. And part of my brain was like, okay, well, if you just sit here, the chicken will be done in 3 minutes, and that means the potato water will be done. No, the potatoes are being cooked in the microwave, sweetheart. You need to go back and put the correct number on the microwave. So yeah, you can't eat over at my house. You cannot eat over at my house. There's a very good likely. I like everything burnt, first of all. That's my flavor. Because I don't trust my cooking. I don't want anything underdone. So it's burnt. Plus, I love the crispy. I love it when things are crispy. Anyway, so I usually just do like canned sides or microwavable sides. But I'm just wanting to appreciate my body. This is going to be a positive video. Because there are so many things that want to tell me that, oh, I'm just wasting my time, I'm not smart enough, yada, yada, yada. But I want to appreciate my body and appreciate the progress that has been made. And, hey, yay, let's celebrate ourselves that I made chicken today. And that's more God's success than my success. And I give her the credit. My friend does that a lot. And I need to give that, okay, that's more God's success than my success. But I'm really proud of myself for making chicken today. And my husband's right now getting his food and going eat. Yeah. And so there's so many external things, especially if you're someone who's differently abled, that are telling you you're not enough. The world is not built for you. First of all, it's mostly built for able-bodied people. So having to find my own way, especially having been someone who was previously able-bodied and to now being differently abled is, it was a huge transition. I mean, man, when I first had to use a cane, I was just so angry that I bent the cane. I threw it against the ground because I was like, God damn it. And that's actually, yeah, it's really hard for me to adjust to this, but I'm learning to accept my new normal. And the cool part that I'm really accepting is that my new normal gets to change as I heal or as I learn to do different processes. Like I can't stand in the shower. So when we go to a hotel or something like that, I have a really hard time taking a shower because standing up, I'm afraid of falling. And I have coordination issues in the shower. I'm really afraid of falling. So I have a shower chair here at home, and that's just one less thing that my brain has to think about. And so I know now that I need to build in processes for what my brain can and cannot do. To build in processes to rest. Making the chicken today, normally it would be I'd take out the pans and wash the chicken and do it all in one setting, in one lump attempt. and that's too much. And what I did today is I took out the pan, then I came and did some work. Then I lined the pan, and then I did some more work. And then I washed the chicken and did the seasoning and all in one step. And so I'm just realizing it's these little adjustments, these little changes that I got to make in my life that make my life fit the new normal that I have. And so if I can do that with my differing abilities, where else can I apply that in my life? By making just these little changes, accepting what is, accepting that what is might change, but to not be fighting against what is. And so for me, the next area that I'm challenged with is being Black and having to accept what is, that I live in a nation that was built off of the backs of Black and brown people, that I have inherited a history of abuse, and I get to feel some kind of way about it. And instead of comparing myself to others who have not inherited this history of abuse, because that's what I was doing, it's like just the able-bodied comparison versus the differently able. Instead of comparing myself to my husband who's white and male, that he has a different reality than me, I get to accept that this is what my reality is, that people will second guess what I say. People think I'm not that intelligent, or people may think that I'm unclean, or that that I was going to say poor, but I am poor. That's kind of fun. No, I grew up in the projects, so yeah, I know what being poor is like. But that I have no ambition, that I have no drive, that I have no determination. A lot of white people that I've met in many circles are like really surprised that I can talk the way that I talk. And I'm like, that's how everybody talks. What are you talking about? Or they're like, oh, you're so articulate. And they're surprised that I have intelligence. Or they're surprised that I'm a clean person. I'm just like, what? If anything, being around my white husband and his family has lowered my cleanliness. I was like so surprised. I used to like shower morning and night because cleanliness is like trying to be good enough, right? I would shower morning, night, and night. And then I got so freaked out and surprised that my husband could get up. He's like, I'm going to go to the store. He hasn't taken a shower? You're going to go out into the world and you haven't showered yet? He's like, I just got to go pick up a few items. I'll be right back. I'm spending all this time proving my worth to be clean enough, to be good enough in this society, that I'm taking time away from what I just need to get done in a day. So I will admit it, I've gone to the grocery store without showering. And it's one less process for my brain, which does make the grocery shopping and the day a lot easier. Because as I said, being in the shower is a lot of my brain going, okay, how do I coordinate and do this? So I need to stop comparing myself to what white people can and cannot do, or what white people will or will not admit or address. It's not my business. When they come into my space, when they make an opinion about me, I can say this is not for me. You do you, I'm going to do me. So you're here in my space and you are white, you're going to be uncomfortable because this is not about you. It's about me, a differently abled Black woman who's living her life in the best possible ways that she can. And if that makes you uncomfortable, okay, I highly recommend you start your own channel and talk about what your journey has been like with addressing the differences that you go through and how you've had to change and grow. I encourage you to do that. I'd be so excited to see you do that, and I would subscribe to watch you do that, to see how you talk about how you've had to change and grow in moving through the world. But this is my journey, and this is my story, and I get to be the one to tell it, and I get to be the one to live it. So I'm going to make small, incremental, little bitty changes around all these things. And the first one for me is to stop the comparison of what white people can get away with that I can't. My husband and I, we are working on like a little podcast to commemorate our marriage, just because. And the latest recording that we did was, and it hasn't been uploaded yet, but the latest recording that we did was about internalized racism and internalized white supremacy. And we talked about some of the differences of the experiences that we've had. So if you want to check that out, you'll get to see cool stuff like that, or just being in a relationship with another person who is different than you, a different culture, differently abled. So that's I'll need to put it in the comments or in the description box below. That's Experiments in Love. If you want to follow us, it's at Experiments in Love on YouTube, and I believe, oh no, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, and we're on Twitter. But we're just starting out. We're just starting out just to make something fun, just to make something fun for our coupleship. Yeah, so you can follow that, but we're talking about our differences. And I need to recognize what's important for me. I made chicken today. I made barbecue chicken today. I did a good job at it, and I have more energy than I would normally have after doing it because I did it in processes that work for me. And that's pretty cool. And that's more God's success than my success, and I thank her so much for it. I praise her for that. Yeah. So, till next time. Peace.